Alright, so this came out just 2 hours ago, and I haven't seen it. I want to give you guys my genuine reaction. Full disclosure, I'm a big fanboy for the Batman Arkham series. And they set up a standard, and as such, I'm a little bit biased here. If it turns out to be underwhelming, I'm going to be a little bit more harsh criticizing it. But I genuinely hope it's a good game. So let's take a look-see.
Got about a dozen people frozen here. Need paramedics. ASAP. All units, shootout in progress at Elliott Center.
Multiple accidents. Too many. We can't respond to them all.
Dispatch,
Where the hell is our backup?
Hi, I'm Patrick Redding, creative director on Gotham Knights. On behalf of the whole team at WB Games Montreal, I'm really honored to give you a quick look at our gameplay.
Belfry, Elliott Center is covered in ice.
Okay, so you get to play as Batgirl. I kind of dig that. I mean, that's fine. This doesn't seem to be woke. You get to see a little bit of Tushy. Batgirl looks great. I mean, that's why people read the comic book of Batgirl, right? Like, there's a little bit of sex appeal. There's a lot of violence. And yeah, I dig it.
Really honored to give you a quick look at our gameplay.
Belfry, Elliott Center is covered in ice. Whatever's causing this is localized at the top.
We're going to look at a short clip from one of Gotham Knights' villain crimes in a pre-alpha build. This mission is halfway through the Mr. Freeze storyline, and we're playing Batgirl a dozen or so hours into her character progression.
I imagine that on PlayStation 5, all of this is going to look a lot better. I mean, the graphics here look like someone just threw Vaseline on my monitor. So I hope it's not going to be like that. I like the fact that there are now civilians that are filling Gotham. This didn't happen in the previous Batman games. So it's curious like how you are going to interact with them. Do you get to rescue them? What happens if you run over them multiple times? You know, the real questions. But I do hope that if they go with an open world thing, I do hope there's a lot of activities to do. I hate games that have an open world, but there's very little to do and you just use the open world to go from mission point to mission point. I really hate that. If you're going to do it like that, then just make it a linear game. Like, that's fine. You know, linear games aren't bad. But if you go with open world and have like a lot of activities that you can perform in the open world.
All units at Elliott Center. Air support inbound.
Okay, wow, that was freaking cool. I love how seamless that felt. Like when she jumps out of that motorcycle, so you can just jump like that and it feels really seamless, really nice. That's kind of cool. And let's see, did they make her face ugly? I mean, she looks a little bit too much like Batman, but I'm not complaining. I mean, they got the rest of the body right. You know, like I don't know, like maybe it's just like a personal pet peeve of mine, but this is a game that's made mostly for teenagers. And as I mentioned before, teenagers just like sex appeal and violence. Why would you take things away from them? And no, like this looks like Batgirl from the comics. They got the hairstyle correctly. The costume is good. Yeah, no, I'm digging it. Please don't ruin it later on. Like I hope the combat is good.
Hostiles opening fire on upper floors. Air support, can you do a fly around?
Freeze has recently returned to Gotham with a mysterious agenda that involves manipulating the weather to flash freeze the city.
We need a way to get through that ice.
An important goal for Gotham Knights was that players can play all of the game, either solo or in two-player co-op.
If he wants a fight, he'll get it.
Meh. Remember when you played the first Batman Arkham game, and the most dangerous enemies were the ones with guns? So you had to scan the room and make a plan and try to take them out one by one without them noticing you, because if they opened fire on you with their guns, you would die almost instantly. And I really like that. You know, it made you feel that yes, you're a superhero, yes, you can do cool stuff, but at the end of the day, you're still human. I don't see how they can recreate this experience with a multiplayer. I mean, maybe I'm wrong and they will get it, but even if they do, like, it will still be frustrating. Like, you're doing everything good and your partner messes it up. But honestly, I think that it's not going to have much of that. And, you know, I really enjoyed that aspect of the game. I get, like, the multiplayer is optional, but the thing is, when you even add multiplayer and it's in the single player campaign, then you have to change a lot of things in order to fit the multiplayer in it. It would have been best if they just had, like, the main campaign where you play solo and then have, like, another multiplayer campaign where you can play with a friend. I think Splinter Cell used to do that, and that was really great. I mean, the scenarios were designed for 2 people. Portal, you know, another example. You play by yourself, and then you have, like, this option to play with those droids. So yeah, I'm not really excited about this. But I guess, like, if you have a friend and you really want to play with him, then, well, here you go. You got multiplayer.
He'll get it.
We need a tank to get through that much ice!
Robin's learned how to access the Justice League satellite for short-range teleportation.
How are we supposed to stop ice guns?
Okay, so this right here is cancer. After I play something like this, I need to go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation in order to wish this out of the game. I really hate it. Like, Assassin's Creed started it, and now a lot of people are copying it. It's so lame. So, everything has to be a role-playing game now, huh? I mean, you're giving levels to the mobs, and I really hate it. You know, it's like the same bad guy that you fight in the tutorial. Oh, but now he's level 10. Now he can kick your ass. Even though it's like he's got the same moves, he's got the same stuff. You go there, and you punch him, and you hit him, and nothing happens, but the moment he lands one punch, boom, you're dead because you're low level. I really hate this artificial way of progression, and it's so lazy, isn't it? Because, like, all they can do is give these people, like, let's say you want to have a zone where people go to the late level, right? So give the enemies there, give them better abilities, give them, you know, better stuff, so that they're more difficult to take down, and throughout the game you get different gadgets and upgrades, and then you can handle those guys. Like, again, in the first Batman, you had the ones with guns, right? And they would manage to kill you with 1 or 2 bullets. But as you upgrade your armor and you upgrade some moves, eventually towards the end of the game, they're still dangerous, but they're a lot more easy to get to manage with. This is so lazy. It's like, I hate it. I hate it.
Meanwhile, Batgirl has mastered some more familiar techniques. And developed a few new ones of her own.
Montoya here. Heard you're down there having some fun.
Fun's one word for it.
Just a heads up, that chopper's under orders to fire on anything that moves inside.
The Gotham City Police. Drop your weapons or we will open fire.
Alright, so I really dig the way she fights. She doesn't fight like Batman, which is a really good thing. Batman is like a powerhouse. And she uses like these really cool comic book-like abilities, a lot of cool athletics in order to take down the bad guys. I really love this. And I guess like you have certain moves which can only perform if certain objects are in the game. Like, okay, that's great. I love that. I also love how she used the head of a bad guy as if it's a pole dance. That was fun. And I suppose you can pick between different members of the Bat family. Like you have Robin, you got Nightwing. This really didn't impress me. I never liked the fact, okay, they're called the Bat family, but like they're not supposed to use bats. It's like, nah. I know they're using it maybe in like the latest games, like Mortal Kombat, and there are a few examples. It's just like a little bit meh to me. But like the gymnastics and all of that, that's great, man. That's great.
Montoya here. Heard you're down there having some fun.
Fun's one word for it.
Just a heads up, that chopper's under orders to fire on anything that moves inside.
The Gotham City Police. Drop your weapons, or we will open fire. Returning fire!
The storm is getting worse. You need to hurry and find a way inside Elliott Center.
The GCPD chopper made that part easy. This doesn't look up to code. If anyone asks, I meant to do that.
I won't say a word.
Tours were still going on when Freeze came through.
Those poor people. They didn't stand a chance.
Gotham Knights is built to let players approach each challenge with their preferred style and their preferred build.
You know how cold it is up there, right? You want to die of exposure? Be my guest.
This will only take a second.
Check it out! What the hell is she? Keep them occupied!
No precision!
They talked about build. If you're going to make Gotham Knights and let people play as different characters, at least I hope they each have unique builds. Like, I wouldn't want to see that they play the same way and everyone has like 3 builds to choose from. What I did notice interesting is that there's like this purple bar, and the more you beat them up, the more it fills. Like a super meter in a fighting game. I love this. Like, I really dig this. So hopefully you get like really cool abilities and you have to decide, do I use them now or do I save them for a boss battle? And I also love the fact that the enemies can shoot each other by accident. Like, I really hate it when in video games the enemies have friendly fire on. But in this case they don't appear to.
Bad, you're it! Not the safest time to take the elevator.
You'd rather take the stairs?
These cables on the floor. Guaranteed they lead to Freeze. Belfry, status.
Countless dead, and the temperature's still falling.
We need to stop this. Now.
I don't really like that she's too confident. She's more like Batman and lacks individuality in this aspect. I know that in recent comic books she has a lot of confidence, but I preferred her back in the day where she was a little bit more insecure and unsure of what she's doing, because it makes you care about her more. It's a struggle, right? Like there's a lot of room for her to grow as a character. And again, you know, like, rooting for the underdog is something great. And most of the Bat family used to have various flaws to separate them from Batman. You have Red Hood, which thinks his way is better and he's using guns and his vision differs from Bruce Wayne. You have Batgirl, which was a little bit more insecure and she just was trying to prove herself. And same with Damien, you know, you get like arrogance and cockiness when you look at the Bat family. Right now, I see no difference in her dialogue and her behavior to that of Bruce Wayne. And if like you're going to make like just a female version of Batman, then just have Batman. And if you're going to make like some new character, give them something that belongs to them, make them individual and stand out from other characters.
Belfry wasn't kidding about this storm.
Almost there. I see the weather machine, ready with the disruptor.
That thing's drawing so much power.
Field disruptors in place. It's charging.
Get away from my storm engine!
Is that what you're calling it? You don't want to be on the roof when this disruptor goes off. Trust me.
Irrelevant! I already have what I need. The storm has risen over Gotham. Nothing can stop it!
We'll see about that.
You cannot run from me!
Look at this garbage. Look. This is why I hate multiplayer in these types of games. Like, there's games where multiplayer works, and there's games that you can see they're designed for single player, and when you add another character, it kind of breaks that experience. Because one person is just distracting the boss, and the other person goes behind the boss, starts whacking it, and can ignore most of the ability. I don't like that, you know. But again, like, this is just me. Maybe other people like the multiplayer. I will never play in multiplayer. So, what do I think of it? I mean, decent, you know, like, it's not wow. It's not that amazing. I hate the RPG elements. The dialogue and the banter between the characters in this trailer wasn't great. Maybe in the actual game it feels better. And the fact that they have multiplayer, I doubt that the stealth is going to be as exciting as in the previous Batman games. Like, the enemies will probably not be as deadly. You know, it's going to be designed in such a way that it takes into account that there might be another person in the encounter. But overall, I mean, I like the combat. I like the way the vehicle thing works, where she just seamlessly jumps out of the bike. I like the fact that there are normal NPCs there. And I like the fact that they didn't went with It's Ma'am as Batgirl. So we'll see. You know, I'm really curious where they're going with it. This is definitely a game that I'm going to purchase. Still waiting to see if I'm going to be fully excited about it or just, you know, a game that I buy in order to spend the time. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you guys there.